Alright, this week we're at Pollack Paseo Del Oro Shopping Center. I parked next to the sign so that way I remember what the sign is before we get in, because I never remember. Paseo del Oro, I believe, is Spanish for gold walk, or walk of gold. It's like how it's directly translated. It's a weird little shopping center. It's kind of strange, and there's some lights on it, and let's go take a look, I guess. Right now it's just about 15 minutes to midnight. We locked the car. It's a pretty well lit area. I've never been across the street. Maybe we'll take a walk over there in a little bit. But I have been on this side. We're going to take a walk around and see. Here's kind of an overview of the area. Here is the sign. One of the big anchor stores here is Zia Records. Zia Records, they specialize in old music. They do records, but also like CD players, CD playing equipment, record playing equipment, video games, and all sorts of stuff. I go there from time to time to look for video game things. Pollack Investments is one of the big investors here in Arizona, and he always really decorates his shopping centers, especially during Christmas time. Right now it's in the middle of summer. It's about 98 degrees outside Fahrenheit, so it's pretty warm. You ain't gonna see no Christmas lights right now. Jackson Hewitt Tax Services, chiropractor, a dentist, and Zia Records. This is the big main thing over here. I'm not sure if there are places like this in other states. I'm not sure if this is just like an Arizona thing or is this a franchise, but they have Zia Records all over the valley. And they specialize in all sorts of music stuff. You need to buy a good electric guitar, you can get it here. An accordion, anything you can imagine. It's not just music. They got movies, merch, more video games. Zia Records. The big thing that I always remember about this area is that this has like a weird second story upper deck. I'm not sure exactly what is up there. It looks like a Christian faith. Maybe that's a church or something. And then there's some law offices up there too. We'll kind of stay a little distant away as I don't want to trip any security alerts or anything like that. But it would be cool to kind of go up there and kind of see why there's an upper deck to the area. I'm not sure what So Bright is, but it looks like it might be like a light store. State Farm. These little pop-up offices are all over the valley. Covenant Life Church. This is relatively recent here. This stuff, the church at the top over there and the church that's over here for some reason, right in the same shopping center, weren't here when I was younger. There were actually different stores up there. And one of the stores that we went to from time to time was the Boy Scout store, which is over here somewhere. They've since moved / closed / I don't know what happened to the Scouts anymore, because they're no longer the Boy Scouts. They're just the Scouts of America, or Scouting America. Over here we have Rocker World Furniture, and upstairs looks like a ballroom. I guess it's maybe a banquet room or maybe a dancing ballroom. I'm not sure what type of balls they would have there. Rocker World Furniture. Looks like they have a lot of recliners that rock. like back and forth. With that name, I thought it was gonna be something related to like rock and roll, but it doesn't look like that. A bridal store, Satan Martial Arts. Yeah, that place looks pretty well established. They got a whole fighting ring in there and everything. This shopping center overall isn't that big, but I just wanted to come over here mostly just because it has this weird whole second floor, which not a lot of other shopping centers in Arizona actually have. We'll walk to the end to see if there's anything cool around the corner. I don't believe there will be. This light is very loud. Usually they get like that when their transformer's damaged or it's about to go out. These actually aren't LED lamps. You think these are halogen lamps because of this orangish color that it gives off. Nothing much on this side. Looks like a women's aid seminar. But yeah, this is weird that you see a parking lot with all these old halogen lamps still. This is what all the lamps used to look like in Arizona when I was younger. But many places have since then switched to LEDs, like the street lamps out here on the street, and not the ones in the parking lot, which is the halogen lamp. The halogen lamp you can see is noticeably a lot more bright, but it doesn't project as far compared to that light over there, which projects pretty far. So while this lamp is brighter, it's kind of more centrally bright and not area bright. They're also not very power efficient. They're pretty power hungry. Each one of these things is probably several hundred watts to get this bright. Versus that lamp out there is probably like 75 watts. We kind of walk past a Chinese restaurant and an H&R Block, which is another tax place. It's kind of weird to see another tax place in the same shopping center. There's just like multiple tax places. We'll head out to the street here. Take a look across the street. We got some sort of family dental center. That looks like it used to be a Denny's. At least due to the shape of the building. I'm not sure if it was a Denny's or not, but it kind of has that characteristic look of what a Denny's or some sort of restaurant. It might have been Coco's. We used to have a restaurant that was very similar to Denny's called Coco's. They used to be all over the place, but they've since went out of business long ago. Sounds like someone else hit that bump. When I was driving up here, there's like they're working on the road. They take like the surface of the road off and they leave it bare for a while until they resurface it. But that leaves like a huge gap right here that if you're going pretty fast, you'll hit it and it's pretty noticeable. Sounds like you like hit something. Like, listen to this guy. His wasn't that bad. We got 21 seconds. If we look down here, you can kind of see like the outer edge. That's where that bump noise comes from. It's like a good 3 or 4 inch gap from the part that I'm standing on to the surface of the road over there, which is what generates that huge thud when they're driving. Alright, we got this weird walkway going in here. Let's follow this up and see where we get. Hitting that clunks. an AT&T store. This cell phone company store sells cell phones. Let's see. This is a different shopping center than the one we were just at. Looks like across the way we have Chandler Central Center, which maybe we'll go over there too, because that looks kind of cool as well. But this one is called something Square. Pretty nice shopping center as well. Alma Elliott Square, that's what this one's called. So we had the Walk of Gold over there. We got Alma Elliott Square here. And then we got Chandler General Center across the street. We'll kind of walk through and talk about some of these areas that I remember. This area is relatively old. I believe that there was a game store right here in the corner where this Cash One Loans is at. Long ago though. I don't remember the name of the game store. It wasn't like GameStop or anything like that. Kind of an old local area. They have a Century in the parking lot over here, so I gotta stay a little farther away from that. Although I don't know if it's on. It's not flashing like they normally do. Here's the Fry's Food and Drugs. Fry's is a prominent grocery store chain here in Arizona. One of the lights just went out up here. This one's failing. So after like 10 minutes or so, it'll turn back on. And it'll come back up. And then they just kind of slowly flicker all night long. Liquidation Land. Let's see. Nature's Health, your vitamin discount store. So it's like a GMC, GNC, whatever it is. They definitely got a lot of vitamins in there. I don't know why they left all the fans on. There's no one even in there. Here's the place for rent. Looks like it used to be a store, like for clothing. Because it's got the pegboards along the back wall. It might have been a cell phone store, I'm not sure. Casa de Montessori. Playground academics. Small classes, toddlers. Looks like a kid center. Liquidation Land. Oh. 50 to 90% off retail. Electronics and tools. So it looks like a place that's sold a lot of like surplus stuff from any of these different stores, and they resell it. I don't know what Terror Trader is, but it sounds cool. Marketplace for the Bazaar. Horror, collectibles, oddities, dark antiques. That sounds pretty cool. Maybe I have to come back here during the day. Mayflower Chinese cuisine. On the end over here we have an IHOP. It's still open. IHOPs, I believe, are open 24 hours. We'll kind of stay a little distant away from it because there's still people going in and out of it. Ooh, there's a gecko on the ground there. Geckos are small little lizards. They're real tiny. It smells like fryer oil. Like maybe they're cleaning the fryers. It could be the crazy tuna. All you can eat. Seafood sushi. That's interesting. Here's the 24-hour IHOP. Usually when my grandma and grandpa visit from California, they always want to end their trip going to IHOP. When I was a kid, they used to always do that. And they'd always give me the smiley face chocolate chip pancakes. I never really liked chocolate chip pancakes, but I just like the smiley face. And that was the only one that would come with the smiley face on it. With the it was like whipped cream, they spray it, and then there's like a cherry as the nose or something like that. They wouldn't do it with the regular ones, but they'd only do it with that one. So I would tough out eating the chocolate chip pancakes, which I don't really like, just to get the smiley face. Here's a pool store. There's a lot of below ground pools in Arizona. So people need parts and equipment to service them. Fortunately, our sign over here is not active. But it's this Alma Elliott Square we've just walked through. Maybe we got one or two more left in us, and then we'll finish this video out. Let's go see that Chandler place across the store. Was that the name of it? I can't remember already. Something smells like bananas. It's weird, it smells like ripe bananas. Not sure why. Kind of has that fruity smell. I don't even know why that would be there. There's nothing in the area that even has fruit related stuff. So we got Paso Del Oro across the street. Alma Elliott Square, which is a clever name, I guess, because this is Alma School in Elliott, which is our crossroads here in Chandler, Arizona. Ooh, we got the walkie man. Let's go. Chandler General Center, that's where we're going. Right across the street. Diagonally across from the first place we started. Hearing those clunks. Dang. Right here it smells like burnt up asphalt. Because you use this special machine to kind of tear up the road. It takes off the surface of the road so that they can put a fresh coat of tar on it, which clears up all the cracks and bumps. Even though it doesn't really, because there's still cracks and bumps like right out here. It just kind of masks them for a little bit. And within the next couple months, it'll be broken again. This side has a lot of bugs. You can hear all these crickets. When you're in an area in Arizona where you hear a lot of crickets like this, that means that there's bound to be a lot of scorpions down in these rocks over here. They feasting. It's a good way to tell how well your pest control is working is if you go outside and you hear a lot of crickets, you know it's not working very well. So it kind of gives you an indicator when you need to put more out there or do some work to it. Right away we have this really large Little Caesars pizza. They specialize in hot and ready pizzas. Hot and ready is their special thing that they've come up with, which allows you to get a restaurant quality pizza anytime. You just walk up and you just buy it and you pick it up and go. It's hot and ready. Unlike the more traditional way that you would have to like order ahead of time, wait 40 minutes, and then go pick it up. Hot and Ready's have been a really cool invention that saved that business, because in the late 90s they were really suffering. Here is Chandler, Central. I thought it was General. I couldn't read it from across the street. Central Center, because that C looks a lot like a G from a distance because of the weird font that they use. Alright, here we are. This looks like it was used to be maybe a Wendy's. I say Wendy's because it has this like front part right here, which is actually like a sunroom. Many of the Wendy's used to have like a solarium, I think is what it's called, which is basically like a sunroof kind of thing. And they were really cool back in the day, but they've since remodeled all of them to not have that feature anymore, as they considered it dated. Dance studio. You can tell how prestigious it is by how many trophies they got in the window. It's weird that there's people driving over here at this late hour. Wonder what's over here. We're finding out. Empire Beauty School. You want to learn how to do makeup? There you go. Oh, that's why everyone's over here, because Planet Fitness is over here. They're open late. I think they're open all night long. We'll keep our distance away from it. Usually at these late hours, there's a lot of weird people going to Planet Fitness. Like the one day we went and visited the Peterson house, and that guy just took his pants off. I was like, what? There's a VR arcade over here, it looks like. That's cool. I didn't know that. There's people in the parking lot over here, so I have to kind of turn away from them so we're not looking or recording on them. A lot of bridal stores over here. Several across the street too. Here's a place that's been in the news a lot lately. This franchise has recently popped up here in Arizona. All over the place. There's several of them. But this establishment is embroiled in a large amount of issues at the moment because of the thing that happened in Utah. Wow, this place smells really fresh. Fresh flowers. It smells very florally. But look at that. You can barely walk back in there. There's that many flowers. Asylum Records and Collectibles. You know, I've never seen this place before. But this looks like it's almost like a Zia Records clone. I imagine they sell much of the same stuff in there. I believe this over here used to be a movie theater, which is now a furniture and mattress discounter store. It has that kind of movie theater aesthetic, like you would have the little posters along the wall there, and you would go inside, and then there'd be like the lobby area. I believe that this used to be a movie theater, but I'm not sure which one it was. It could have been any of the smaller chains that actually went out of business years ago. But it just kind of has that movie theater build to it. I'm not sure how different it is now that it's a furniture and mattress discount store. Rugs, water beds? I haven't seen a waterbed in years. I used to have a waterbed when I was a kid. My parents got in trouble for it because we rented an apartment back in the day, and they had the waterbed on the second floor, and we had it for years. But during one of their little inspection audits, you know, they come in and check everything out. They discovered it, and then I couldn't have a waterbed no more. Here's the side entrance to it. Sounds like the sprinkler's turning on. It's kind of geysering out of the ground. Some fancy looking furniture in there. Good luck keeping it clean. It's like super ice white. I like how the sign says it's open, but it's not. Alright, that's Chandler Central Center. Across the street looks like there's like a little school thing. El Dorado High School. Not exactly sure what that is. It might be a school for like special kids. Not like mentally challenged kids, but you know, kids that are like super far behind their studies because of either high amounts of absences, just not giving a crap about their schoolwork. The tree's really low here. There are a lot of crickets walking around on the ground here. Oh, there's a scorpion. We're gonna leave him alone. There's roaches, scorpions, and everything on the ground out here. At least back there. I don't see any over here right now. Boom. As it nails that 4-inch gap there. You know, they should have more signs that specify that it's gonna be there, because you can hear these clunks. Because you're taking it at almost 40 miles an hour. And if you're not paying attention, it might blow out your tires. Clunk. Alright, our last little corner here. And then we'll call it in. Don't really know much about this side over here. We've driven by it a lot because we used to go over here a lot, but I don't remember much about this localized area. Some things to note here is this place here called My Doctor Now. These have recently started exploding all over the place. A lot of different shopping centers are starting to get these, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. I guess it's like maybe a doctor you can just kind of walk into. Maybe you don't need insurance to go. I don't know what the whole deal is with it, but they started popping up all over the place. Their sign is very prominent and easy to kind of see, and it stands out a lot against all these other signs. Here's the place across the street, which I said looked like a Denny's at one point. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It kind of has that weird Denny's shape to it. But now it looks like they segmented it off into individual little segments. As there's a barberology, barbertology, cat's sleeping on top of this car here. And I'm hearing a spray of water. Doesn't look like much over here. For some reason the electrical box is open and unlocked. Not sure why that is. It doesn't look like it's been vandalized. I think there's some cats sitting right over here. Are those cats? Maybe they're just trash back. No, those are definitely cats. There's a whole bunch of cats over here. Ooh, little kittens. And adult cats. Looks like they're squeezing between the two buildings here. This looks like it used to be like a drugstore. Like maybe like a Walgreens or an Osco. But it's since turned into this place. Yeah, this is definitely a place for people with challenges. Tuition-free, credit recovery, EVIT partnership. Credit recovery, that's the thing. So people who within their first 3 years have wasted a lot of their time in high school and got to a point where they basically have no chance of graduating. These accelerated high schools with their credit recovery allows students to be able to build enough credits to be able to graduate along with everyone else. It's kind of cheating, if you ask me. Because there was people that I went to high school with who were messing around for the first 3 years, not turning in a single assignment, getting zeros on everything, constantly out of school, not coming to school. And they were able to graduate and walk with me because on their senior year, they went to one of those accelerated high schools and somehow magically got the credentials to be able to come and graduate. More clones. Kind of makes you think though, because people who tried really hard ended up the same way compared to those who kind of went through it normally. Like me, I didn't really strive to do anything super advanced or better. And then the people who didn't do anything all managed to graduate. Alright, so we're finishing up our video. Hopefully the car's still over here. But we went to all four corners this time. There's some interesting stuff over here. I didn't know about some of these places. And the only way you would know is either look it up on Google Maps or hear it through word of mouth or take a walk at midnight into the shopping center to see what's over here. Interesting. We're back to the Walk of Gold. Not sure why they call it that, because nothing here has that like gold aesthetic. I mean, everything's kind of Arizona stucco kind of looking rocks. It's normal kind of stuff here. It's not anything special looking. Alright, here. We're back. Ooh. I'm sweating because it's hot outside. It's almost 100 degrees right now. Well, there's our walk. We went to 4 different shopping centers on this corner of Elliott and Alma School. The lights went off. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Still looking for cool stuff to kind of record and do. But we're in the heat of summer here in Arizona. And it's getting to be well over 100 degrees during the day. We're entering the storm season though, so we might start seeing some monsoons. And if I'm able to, I want to see if I can get out and record some monsoons. And maybe we'll go to Tempe Town Lake to kind of see that. But we'll see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. See you guys next week for some more binaural recording sights and sounds. Be your host, Dan. And have a good one.